not possible and impossible. When we say, "It is not fair," or "It is unfair," I'm not sure enough to say whether both of the sentences have the same meaning or not, though superficially, there is no difference between them. But if we say, "Something is not possible," or "Something is impossible," then there is really an observable difference in my first language. Hence, the question, is there a difference between the preceding two sentences in English?
I don't think there's any difference of meaning between unfair and not fair, or impossible and not possible, but there are all sorts of other reasons why you might choose one over the other. A few examples. Discourse context. If someone says to you, "This proposition is not very probable," you would very likely mirror his construction and say not probable? It's not possible. But if he had said this proposition is improbable, you would respond improbable. It's impossible. Register and rhetoric. If you have seen the movie The Princess Bride, you may recall that Vizzini is given to saying inconceivable, and is eventually rebuked by Fezzik that "I do not think it means what you think it means." Vizzini's use, of course, is ordinary colloquial hyperbole, and impossible is often used the same way. Accordingly, in conversation, when you mean impossible literally, you may prefer to say not possible, so that you will not be understood to mean merely very unlikely. Prosodic context. The im and impossible and un and unfair are unstressed syllables, and don't take stress as readily as not. Small children, in my experience, always shriek "It's not fair," rather than "It's unfair." When someone else gets something they want, somehow the spondee is just more indignant than the I am. In print, similarly, you might use not possible if you feel that italicizing the first syllable of impossible doesn't emphasize the negative adequately, or if, like me, you've never figured out how to emphasize just a segment of a string in these postings.
To me, the only difference is style. One word, unfair, versus two words, not fair. The same for impossible and not possible, both mean cannot be done for some reason or other.
I'm not native English and my answer is not based on any source but only feeling. But I feel like impossible is more inherently cannot be possible by itself objectively, while not possible involve environmental condition. When I said I think it's impossible, I means that thing cannot be done, or I don't know any condition to let it could be done. When I said I think it's not possible, I means that thing actually has probability or condition to let it possible, but there was none or very little of those in the situation. When a word such as possible is negated by not, it simply relays the fact of what is not possible. However, when a new and separate word is formed by adding the prefix, it strengthens the word and increases the intensity of what is being relayed. For example, if someone asked to use a car but were told that it was not possible, that would be one thing. But if they were told that it was impossible to use the car, that would be another. The first answer leaves room for speculation. Perhaps a tire was flat, the driver wasn't trusted, or it had already been promised to someone else. For whatever the reason, it was not possible. The second answer gives no wiggle room. Regardless of any reason, that car is not going to be used. It is impossible.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.